just saying is, look, I can tell that you are passionate about what you are talking about, and I have a deep appreciation for that. You know, in my role, I've worked in this community for a very long time, and you're right, in Belfast we do have a long history of protesting, and we acknowledge people's First Amendment rights. I think where you're sort of crossing the line here is you're raising your voice at me. To be honest, you've made people in this office feel very uncomfortable, which I don't think you really intend to do. I know that it's just because you care, and I think that what we're looking at is using offensive language and writing it on public property and things like that. I don't think you really want to get into a conflict, people, over swears, and I don't think you want to make people feel uncomfortable, right?
Yes, I do.
You want to make people feel uncomfortable?
I am protesting, lady. What do you think?
Protesting.
What do you think? I should stay at home and what? Write letters to my senator?
Peaceful protesting is perfectly fine.
That's all I've been doing.
I was going to say, but if you're making people feel uncomfortable,
doesn't matter.
Disturbing,
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
But is that really what you want?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You don't have. That's not your purview.
Okay.
That is 0% of your concern.
I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Hi.
Hi. How can I help you?
Well, can I set this here?
Sure.
Thanks. I have some issues. I've been protesting, and I've been having some serious issues around that, and I guess I need to clarify the situation. I'm very confused about it. So if there's somebody who could clarify the protesting situation in Belfast. The police won't really talk to me.
Hi, how are
Hi.
you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good. I'm Erin Hervig. I'm the city manager. We've met before.
I believe we have. Yeah, I actually did a little promo for you. I don't know if you ever caught it.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Back in the day. Are you available to is that why you've come out here?
I'm not. I happen to just be walking out here, but can I help you with something?
Well, you can. I mean, yeah, it's going to take a moment, though.
I was going to say, I have just a few minutes here, so yeah, what's up?
Okay, well, the basic idea is
Good morning.
Sorry.
How are you?
I'm in somebody's way. I don't know if you have seen, I submitted an open letter regarding informally blackmailing Belfast PD. I submitted it here. I don't know if you saw that.
I did see that.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, you're welcome. I just happened to notice online there's also a City of Belfast recently, within the last couple of years, published an open letter on civility and how protesting is welcome, and there's a long tradition of protesting here. And so I thought that sounded good. What happened is that started all this is basically I was mobbed. I've had for years I've had issues with the Waldo County Sheriff's Department and the state police for the last 5 or 6 years, being abused by them, maliciously prosecuted by them, I allege. And Anyway, so I wanted to protest against the police, but a judge basically said I couldn't do that in Swanville a couple of times, and it was an issue out there. So I got BPD's permission to protest, very specifically. Exactly what I wanted to say, what I was going to do, all the activities I was going to engage in, quite explicitly. And when I say permission, I guess really what I should say is I confirmed with them that I have the right to do that, because I do.
Under your First Amendment.
Yes.
Yeah, everybody does.
And so I confirmed that with them, and then I began protesting last year, and the first thing that happened is I was mobbed on the Commons at a Belfast City Nights event, and there was a police officer on duty there who kind of came into the middle of the mob and interrupted it for a second and said, "What's going on?" I said, "I'm being mobbed," and he walked away about 50 feet away and got on his phone, and I called out to him a few times to help me, but he wouldn't do anything. They kept mobbing me, kept hitting my hand, the phone out of my hand. I did get a recording of part of what was going on, and a few seconds of him standing there on his phone as it was going on.
Did you submit that information?
To
Your
who?
videos that
To-
you've taken to the PD?
Yeah,
Office?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. This is all in the letter that I had submitted, the open
Yeah, no,
blackmail
I
letter.
received your letter. Yep.
So that happened, and so I submitted all that to them, and they ignored it. They said they wouldn't do anything. No charges would come of it, they said,
Yep.
which is absurd. And so I FOIA'd, Freedom of Information Act, or as it's called in Maine, Freedom of Access Act, requested
Yep.
various information about that and some other stuff. And what I got back regarding that, which is almost all I got back, alleged that I was guilty of disorderly conduct, because after asking these folks who were clearly and obviously mobbing me, interfering with my constitutional rights, breaking any number of laws, violently, mind, to stop me from protesting. I hadn't even said anything at that point, just carrying a
What's
sign,
your description of violently? Just so
hitting me,
Okay.
pushing me.
Mm-hmm.
When I tried to move, jumping into my personal space and blocking me.
Sure.
And it's on video. They refused to do anything, and again,
But the police reviewed the video.
yes.
Okay. And they determined that there was not, it didn't rise to the level of pressing charges.
Well, they said no charges could come of it.
Okay. Yeah.
That's not the same thing.
Yeah. I'm sure that's frustrating.
It's more than frustrating. It's
Yeah.
quite illegal. Here's the thing, though. Like I say, that was pretty bad. That kind of angered me, and I protested a few more times until,
Have you reached out to the Attorney General's office?
yes, multiple times. They don't do anything to assist with this. The police and government types refer me to them constantly.
Yep.
What they do is run
the place
cover.
Sure. I would say that just I'm sorry.
Do you want to hear this or not?
I was going to say, I've definitely taken a few minutes to sort of stand here and talk with you. I did receive your letter. I did review it. I did.
Here's the
I'm
deal.
familiar with what's been going on.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but you made me repeat it all and waste the few minutes I had of time to spend with you.
No.
Yes,
no.
you did.
Actually, no,
Now,
I'm
here's the
giving
thing.
my time to
Here's the
listen to
thing.
you.
Now, here's the
Yes.
thing. I was recently, out of the blue, they did, Trabuzio did a 180-degree turn on me without warning, suddenly changed the rules completely on me, and summoned me for disorderly conduct. And here's what she said, more or less. She said, if someone is offended and I'm interacting with them and they ask me to stop, and I don't leave the public property I'm on, vacate the public property I'm on, that's disorderly conduct.
Yep.
Now, it does not say that in the disorderly conduct statute. It says something very different. Talks about fighting words. You have to taunt, challenge somebody to the point where they are angry enough to an ordinary person in those circumstances would want to, in fact, I have a paper about it here. An ordinary person, that would in fact have a direct tendency to cause a violent response in an ordinary person. So, what I had done is, well, first of all, I had their explicit permission to do exactly what I was doing multiple times. Going back to Chief, the chief, like 3 chiefs ago, I got his permission. On the record, I have their permission on the record. She repeatedly gave me either tacit or positive affirmation that what I was doing was fine. Then suddenly, the other day, after I wonder, I embarrassed the chief. I've been, I'm starting to get a little attention on this stuff. Suddenly things change. And I am being summoned for disorderly conduct. Now that's 6 months in a cage. Do you understand that? That she is saying that I deserve for doing something that I had their permission repeatedly to do. Now here's the thing, the final thing that I need. On her parting shot, well, she also included she alluded to another thing she was called to, where I had not sworn or anything, because the issue seemed to be swearing partly, saying, 4-letter words, quote unquote offensive words. And she had been called to another thing where I had
offensive language.
It doesn't matter. I have a right to do that.
Well,
and
you certainly do under your First Amendment right, and I think that. And
please let me.
I've listened to you very, very much.
But I'm almost done.
Just to listen to me.
Can I finish first, though?
Okay. Yep,
okay.
Absolutely. And
here's what I need.
You could offer me that same respect and return.
Of course.
I really appreciate
of
that.
course.
Thank you.
Here is what I need. See her, and then she included. She summoned me for
I understand that.
the situation, for a situation in which I was using 4-letter words, quote unquote offensive 4-letter words. I had their explicit permission to use on public property at a conversational volume. That's all I was doing. But I was summoned for it nonetheless, despite the fact that it's my right, despite the fact that I had multiple times got their permission. She also alluded to another situation where I had not used a single. I made a point that day of protesting. I called the video I made about it swearing off swearing. I didn't use a single 4-letter word. Nonetheless, she was called, she said that, she threw that in there. Then her parting words to me were, careful. I was swearing at her, which I have every 100,000,000% right to do. Supreme Court, look it up if you don't believe it. And she said, careful, Sean, people might overhear you.
If you're in a public place, there are children.
It doesn't matter.
I know.
You need to look this stuff up, lady. You're going to get sued. The city is going to get sued. Now, I need clarification. Is this your clarification?
I only have a few more minutes here.
Please clarify.
But what I'm just saying is, look, I can tell that you are passionate about what you are talking about, and I have a deep appreciation for that. In my role, I've worked in this community for a very long time. And you're right, in Belfast, we do have a long history of protesting, and we acknowledge people's First Amendment rights. I think where you're sort of crossing the line here is you're raising your voice at me. To be honest, you've made people in this office feel very uncomfortable, which I don't think you really intend to do. I know that it's just because you care. And I think that what we're looking at is using offensive language and writing it on public property and things like that. I don't think you really want to get into a conflict, people, over swears, and I don't think you want to make people feel uncomfortable, right?
Yes, I do.
You want to make people feel uncomfortable?
I am protesting, lady. What do you think?
Protesting.
What do you think? I should stay at home and what? Write letters to my senator?
Peaceful protesting is perfectly fine.
That's all I've been doing.
I was going to say, but if you're making people feel uncomfortable,
doesn't matter.
Disturbing,
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
But is that really what you want?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You don't have. That's not your purview.
Okay.
That is 0% of your concern.
I'm going to have to ask you to leave now. I think I've taken up a lot of time. Again, I understand that you are frustrated. I hear you. I've stood here.
So I want to know what is that your word though? That I need to stop swearing, or I will be summoned, or I need to stop. See, this silences me. This silences me.
Yep.
No, but
I do have a respect for the work that.
Okay, so I am silenced. I am silenced now as a result of this. I can only use written words. No, that's what she said. That the clear implication of her words as an officer of the law for the city of Belfast.
Sean, I think
now,
everyone's just trying to get along with is what's trying
No,
to
you're
happen.
not.
Not to have conflict, not to be saying swears in front of kids.
It
in
doesn't
public
matter.
spaces, like,
You don't get
not
to
be
determine
making
that.
people. No, I think we work with people to try and come
No,
up with
you're not working with
a good
me.
solution. No,
You're
Sean,
not. This is the.
Sean, I think that's you saying that, and you and I have been
What's your
sitting here
solution
talking
then?
for, how long have we been talking for here?
About 15 minutes.
15 minutes? I'm going to ask you to leave now just because I don't feel like this is going to resolve the issue because I feel like I've listened to you, but you're not listening to me. And
I am. No, I'm
don't
asking
want
you.
to
Can you
come to a
please tell me
solution.
now what the solution is?
I think, Sean, please stop making people feel uncomfortable and using obscene language in public spaces in front of children.
Then will I be allowed to speak? Or will
peaceful protest is absolutely fine anywhere in Belfast in this country.
even if
But
somebody
you're
is
taking it
offended
to-
by what I'm saying?
No, I think if the topic, if what you're talking about, I mean, protest is about people disagreeing, and we understand that and we respect that. But if you are making people if it is disorderly and you're making people feel very uncomfortable, it does get to a
So
different
it's
level.
okay. So saying things, whether I'm
I think
swearing
we're
or
just,
not,
Sean, we're just trying to work
just
with you
making
to try
people
to come to
uncomfortable
a
is going to be an
solution.
issue
All
here.
right, we're just it's all right. No, Norman, I'm fine. Thank you.
Is this public property or not?
This is City Hall, but I'm
Am
just
I being
saying,
trespassed?
you and I have been taking up a long time now.
You can go back to what you're doing, Aaron
Herbert.
Herbig, city manager.
I don't want you to make my staff members feel uncomfortable.
I'm not.
We
I'm
can't
just gonna go
resolve
out
the
here.
issue that you're having right
Just
now.
gonna go out here.
We can't resolve this issue for you right here, Sean, so I'm actually going to ask you to leave the building, okay? Just because you are interfering with business now. I have
I'm just
Joyce
standing
who's
here.
coming in from the cemetery trustees.
I'm just standing here, ma'am.
Okay. Hi, Joyce. How are you?
Okay.
It's nice to see you. Come on in. What do we got for me this morning? Okay. Photos. Okay. Good meeting. Oh, very good. Okay. Where are they located? Oh, these ones you're looking for. Okay. Oh, great. Okay. Here, let's walk this in here.
Have a terrible day. That was perfect. Thank you.